The Premier League has released the 2025 shortlist for the inductees to the Premier League Hall of Fame. Welcome back to FFB, amigos. And today we're going to jump into this one, which us YouTube creators were on international break. We get a little bit of a chance to create something different, something that we want to do that we normally don't have time to do. So it's really fun. We are very concerned, as many of you out there, in a way, you're happy if some great players have made it to your national team and you have some hopes for qualification, or they're getting into the group before the World Cup, or you're really stressed out if that's not the case, and some of your star players are risking injury in some crazy places out there in the world. I wanted to jump into this Hall of Fame thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit how it works, what it's about. Let's start with who's in it. Who's in it this year? Sol Campbell, amazing center back, very powerful. I thought he was always underrated. I saw him when I was younger. He was always big, tough, strong. I thought he suffered with injuries, or else he would have been far more legendary. And he wasn't invincible, as mentioned there. A great player. I really enjoyed watching him. Michael Carrick, I don't understand really why he's there. I guess they needed kind of big short list. He was an important player for Man United in terms of consistency, midfielder, but that's about it. Jermaine Defoe, I think, was an rated at times. They expected a lot from him in England. They thought he had a higher ceiling. I think he was always good, better than they gave him credit for. So at times he was underrated, at times overrated. Certainly he's not gonna, with the other people on this list, he's not gonna make it. Same thing, Patrice Evra. I think it was more about a great team. There it says 5-time Premier League champion, amazing attitude, mentality monster, great player. Says Fabregas, monster. He did it for Arsenal. He did it for Chelsea. Amazing. Les Ferdinand, amazing player and actually pundit nowadays and commentator. Robbie Fowler, arrogant striker. In a time where I think Liverpool was suffering a little bit in the times where he played, could have been a lot more. He was very agile, very interesting. The Magic, Eden Hazard. Yes. Guys, you can vote on these things. So Chelsea fans, vote for Chelsea players. We got to get more in there. This list, the actual ones that are already in there, we'll look into it, are mostly Man United players because they dominated for so long at the beginning of the Premier League. We'll see at the rules and the time frame of all this and why it pans out that way. Gary Neville, very respectable, solid dude. Look at that. I think it says 400 appearances. That's crazy just in Premier League. So, good for him. But his commentating I take issue with sometimes, big blue bottle jobs and stuff, but fine, whatever. Michael Owen, um, baby faced assassin, absolutely, and commentator nowadays. Very interesting player, and I think he was a little bit overrated at first, and then underrated to the end. He was playing, later I've heard interviews about him playing injured, and that was really tough for him. But he was an amazing. He can run at the back of defenders like very few could. Teddy Sheringham, old school striker. Wow, could drop deep. I really like him. El Mago, David Silva. We already recent enough that everybody has seen him play. So good in midfield. So many players that have trained with him say he's like the best or one of the best, most agile players on the ball ever. Yaya Toure, amazing. Ex Barcelona, great with a free kick, great with a kick. Played as DM, but could play actually all over the field. Edwin van der Sar, one of the greatest goalkeepers ever, I would say. Although arguably, he probably wouldn't be accepted in his team by the likes of Guardiola or Maresca, or they would probably argue that they need a more ball playing keeper. So what does that say about football nowadays? You tell me. And Nemanja Magic. He is magic. Vidic. Nemanja Vidic. Man, that guy was rough, harsh, hardcore fighter, and multiple. I saw in an interview recently, he got all pissy because he was named like player of the year. Very solid. He played with Rio Ferdinand. So please tell me in the comments who you're gonna vote for. Who would you vote for? Fine, if you want to go, if you don't want to do the hassle of going to a thing, who out of this deserves to be in there, and not because you're a fan. I'm gonna do a call to all you Chelsea fans and say, please, everybody, go and vote for Fabregas or Hazard, so we get just more players in there, so we put our name into perpetuity. But we know there's some amazing players in there that deserve, but it's not about deserve. It's about Hall of Fame, and people are going to be voting from around the world. We're going to get into that right now. So, who's already in? There's a total of 24 inductees so far. Let's have a gander at that goose. Legends: Ashley Cole, Andrew Cole, JT. There's two managers actually, Alex Ferguson And this other guy, everybody knows the name's there. You can read it. I'm not going to say it out loud. An enemy, very admirable coach for the longest time. But man, I hated that face when he was on the other side of the pitch. Rio, which is now a commentator, tough guy, amazing defender actually, and Petr. Let's just hover there for a second. What a goalkeeper. Maybe he wouldn't make it now. Tell me in the comments, would these goalkeepers make it in some of these ball playing clubs? Would they actually make it? You got to remember, Petr, maybe the short balls wouldn't be, but he would lay some balls all the way across the field to find Drogba, to find the chest of Drogba who had the power and strength to chest it down against defenders like the ones we're seeing in Vidic and in Ferdinand. And so you had the ability to play those passes, but I don't know about that short game nonsense. Tony Adams, some of the old school. He comes from prior to the Premier League. Did some Premier League tough, very known tough guy. Patrick Vieira. I would kill to have a DM like that that can play as an he was an eight actually box to box. Rooney, the Magic. Look at these guys. Ian Wright, another goalkeeper. Peter Schmeichel, an amazing shot stopper. Paul Scholes. This dude has like 11 Premier Leagues or something. This is my guy. This is my idol. Didier Drogba, Vincent Company, now coach. Sergio Aguero, Thierry Henry. Man, he was good. I wish he wouldn't be from Arsenal. Alan Shearer. So, but I want to know in the comments, was he respectable or dumb to have stayed in Newcastle so long and not playing with the likes of Man United, which there's many stories that he almost made it there, or go to Spain to Madrid or something like that and just be because let's face it, he was probably one of the best striker number nines on the planet. But the fact that he played in the Premier League at that time, it was in Serie A, which was the top one, or played in Barcelona or Real Madrid. Maybe you heard his legendary status worldwide. Cantona, the magic. I think he's great in the like he was a superstar. He's got the magic, right? It's not you don't even care that much about the records, but the quality of his goals, the attitude, the whole thing with his uniform, amazing. Tough guy, Roy Keane, attitude, mentality. The Prince Beckham, amazing. Bergkamp, Frankie Lampard, the most amazing, beautiful goal scoring midfielder. And I would say the toughest midfielder, Gerrard, which I want to make a whole video on how y'all didn't win anything with the kind of players that you had in that era, at the beginning of the Premier League. But in any case, so you're wondering, how do these people get chosen? So the Premier League announces a shortlist of 15 players. So that's voted prior. But the fans worldwide get to vote on PremierLeague.com. So go and put in your votes, or you can do it on the Premier League app. The current Hall of Fame members also can vote, and I think their vote probably counts a little bit more than you would think. And only 2 will make it from that list that we went over earlier. Not of the ones that are already in there, the amazing legends that I just saw you, but the first list that we looked at. So the player must be retired by January. Like, how did they make the list? Because you guys are maybe wondering some amazing Magic player that didn't make it. But the reason is he must be retired by January 1st of this year, so 2025. But they're obviously not going to put somebody who just retired. They're going to consider people that have been retired for a little bit. Only Premier League counts, no international, nothing in Champions League, none of that. It's strictly the Premier League. That's another factor. They have to have 250 Premier League appearances. That's tough. You're talking that's a lot of seasons, and you need to have at least 200 appearances. Or if you don't have 250 appearances, you can have 200 appearances for one club. Made the Premier League team of the decade or the 20-year anniversary. So you would have to make quite an impact with very few games. Winning a Golden Boot or a Golden Glove, obviously a keeper. Being voted Premier League Player of the Season. So that's a little bit of a shortcut if you had an amazing season. Winning 3 titles, not many there anymore. That's why it's probably Man U heavy and all that, because a lot of those guys can qualify to the dominance. So you see how important silverware is. Did you see all those Spurs players on that list? And scoring, you could score on 100 Premier League goals or more, or 100 Premier League clean sheets, and that's only going to happen if you're a very prolific striker or you're in a team that defends really well. There's one person. Here's some trivia. Let's see who out here can figure it out really quick. There's one Ballon d'Or winner out of all the ones that I showed you that are being considered to be eligible. which only by that you would say he deserves to be in there. But remember, that's more like a international thing, like Premier League, and it's not only Premier League to be taken into account for that. Although this particular player really did it in the Premier League at the time, and I think he's probably one of the younger ones to ever win it. So tell me in the comments who that is. And again, it's only since 1992 till now. The specifics for you, those of you interested in voting, the shortlist was announced today. As soon as I saw this, I thought it was fun. I thought I'd make the video. We're in it. The voting closes 15 September, and the two inductees will be revealed on in November 2025. And I don't want to give it away here, so let's go back to the shortlist. I don't want to give you any hints on who the winner is. So please tell me your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Who do you think should be the votes that you're going to put in? I'm going to give you two chances if you put in the comment who you actually think deserves it and who you would probably going to vote for. Chelsea fans, I ask you to please go and vote for at least one Chelsea player. That would be great. I'm very competitive. I think a lot of Chelsea fans are, and that's why we're fans of Chelsea, a silverware winning team at all costs. And I'm competitive, man. I want to win. I want to win everything, even the silliest little thing possible. A popularity contest. Who had the coolest way to wear a shirt? I'd still want it to be a Chelsea player. That's just me. In any case, that's the video. I want to start making a little bit more, hopefully over this weekend. I'm going to be watching internationals. I'm so excited to do watch alongs when we're coming back to the Premier League after this little break. Please keep an eye out for that. And we got Champions League coming. Chelsea start the Champions League in Munich against Bayern de Munich. That is so amazing. I think I'm going to be able to do that one live. Very excited about that. So be on the lookout. And everybody else that is not a Chelsea fan, I'm going to tell you, I will watch other games and I'll give you an opinion from an outsider. Even though I'm a Chelsea fan, sometimes I'll throw on some blue glasses so you know when I'm being deliberately partial. But other times I try to be as impartial as I can. And I love football so much that I don't only watch Chelsea things. I am looking out for the other teams. And to all you Chelsea fans and my Chelsea players, I love you and come on, you Blues.